Moving now to Bangladesh, which remains on high alert at this violence that is taking place against the minorities. Minorities in Bangladesh have faced more than 200 attacks after the fall of the Hasina government. In fact, in Dhaka, Hindus have staged large-scale protest. They are voicing their outrage over the increasing persecution. The unrest prompted desperate Hindu citizens to seek refuge at the India-Bangladesh border near Cooch Behar in West Bengal. With this, the Indian government had then to increase the BSF deployment to secure the entire region. In response to the crisis, the Indian government has expressed concerns. The interim Bangladeshi government, however, has promised there will be swift action that will be taken to address the violence. Dhaka streets are heavily guarded with massive army presence. Armoured vehicle and checkpost can be seen at almost every few meters. The local police visibly is minimal. Daily life has been disrupted. Schools and colleges have been shut. Joining me on the broadcast, Rumeen Farhana, who is a Supreme Court lawyer and a leader of the BNP party. Rumeen, I would like to start by asking you, the Supreme Court, we are seeing that there is unrest that is taking place in the Supreme Court lawyers. Why is that?
This is because in the last 15 years, many judges were appointed in the Supreme Court, and mostly they were appointed by considering their political position, by considering their political view. So, the new interim government, they are not very comfortable with working with those judges, and at the same time, the common people of this country, they truly believe that under this Supreme Court, they won't be able to get justice. So that is the main reason why this removal and unrest is taking place.
Rubin, what unfolded in Bangladesh happened rather swiftly. It was just 45 minutes, almost an hour, and we saw Sheikh Hasina out of the country. Do you believe what happened in your country was actually brewing for quite some time? What exactly happened?
It is the outcome of what Hasina regime did in previous years. And you were talking about the minority oppression, you were talking about the vandalization, you are talking about the attacks on the ex-MPs and ministers' houses. The reason because people has deep-rooted hatred, dissatisfaction against this government. They were deprived from their, freedom of speech. They were deprived from their voting rights. And this is the time they are in a position that they can say something, they can do something, and it is just the outcome of that. But what I believe as a small political activist and as a lawyer, that the law and order situation is improving. The students are taking care of the roads, they are taking care of the law and order situation. And last night, as you know, that the interim government has already been formed, the ministries have been distributed, so things will be better. Things are getting better, actually. Not will be, things are getting better. And so far, the minorities are concerned. I personally condemn every single oppression, every single attack on the minority. But at the same time, you have to keep in mind that the majority of this country, the majority people of this country believe that in last 15 years, Hasina regime, very, purposefully, in a very calculative manner, they provide some undue advantage, some undue opportunity to those some minority people. So it is not against everyone. It is generally the protest, the attack, whatever you are calling, it is against the beneficiaries of our Malik regime. So some people, maybe they are from minority, maybe they are from the majority, doesn't matter. If they are if they were benefited by Hasina, they are now the, attackers under threat.
Well, Rumeen, that was the question I was coming to. And this really is an important question. It's the safety of the Hindu minorities. Very, very disturbing visuals are coming in from Bangladesh. In fact, from many quarters, ISI's name is also coming to the fore. There are people who are saying that it is the ISI that is behind the killing of the Hindus. In fact, on many global platforms, Jamaat-e-Islami's name is also being taken.
Very interestingly, I minutely followed and observed the things going on in last few days. And what I saw and what is very much there in the newspaper, you can also check that, the members of student wing of Jamaat, that is the Shibir, that we call Shibir, they are trying their level best to protect the temples and the minority communities. I have seen many students from different sections, from different class of society, they're coming up and standing beside the minority. I personally, as a political person and as a lawyer, I personally helped many minority families, those who came to me, those who I know. I tried my best to stand by them. So it is not an attack on the minority as such. It was an obvious consequence of what has happened in last 15 years. Can you believe that Hasina made a horror house that they call Aina Ghar, mirror house, where they put people from opposition, people who doesn't belong to Awami League for 10, 12 years in a room of 10 by 12 feet. So a regime which continued itself without any people's support, which continued itself by using force, which continued itself with the help of some neighboring countries. Obviously, this is the obvious consequence of that.
Do you also at the moment believe that there could be some hand of the Jamaat, because that is also something that is coming to the fore? Many people are saying there's an attempt to change Bangladesh's very DNA.
You see, I'm not in a position to make any comment who is doing what, because I'm not a police officer, or I'm not an investigating officer, or I'm not in any government agency.
Right.
But what I see in my, clean eye, I can see that it's the work of the miscreants, and miscreants doesn't have any political identity. They are there only to take the advantage of the situation. So it is just done by the miscreants. That far I can tell.
I mean, what do you think, the future holds actually for Bangladesh? Sheikh Hasina is in India. Her stay at the moment stands extended. Her son said that she'll return to Bangladesh once elections are declared. Do you see that happening anytime in future?
Of course, why not? I see a bright future in front of Bangladesh, because Bangladesh liberated itself in 1971, and this is our second liberation. So I have seen the spirit in the eyes of our young generation. I can see the spirit in their heart that they say we need to restructure this nation, we need to rebuild this nation. And I feel and I thoroughly believe that what they say that they believe. So obviously, I can see a democratic government in next, who knows, in next maybe few months. So yes, we are optimistic.
So you believe Sheikh Hasina will be allowed to return back to Bangladesh? Do you see that happening?
You see, she should return to Bangladesh. Number one, she needs to face the cases that may bring against her, because there is corruption for charges, there is corruption for human rights violation, there's charges for corruption, human rights violation, stuff like that. So I think she should come and face those charges, because when she was in power, she used to say that he must be a criminal or she must be a criminal. Otherwise, why he or she hesitates to face the trial? So now she's in that position, and I think she should come and face the consequence, number one. Number two is, if she wants to do politics, or if she wants Awami League as a party to survive, then she must return. Otherwise, Awami League, I don't think will be able to do politics in Bangladesh ever. People will always say that Awami League is a party whose number one leader fled away when there is any problem comes up. So it is not a very good example. So she should come back.
Right. Thank you, Rumin, for joining me on the very, very important issue at the moment. It seems like things will calm down in Bangladesh in days to come.